Today we're going to talk about everything that's wrong with eBay's new product-based shopping experience, what it means for you as a buyer or a seller, and if you're a seller, how you might be able to take advantage of this opportunity. Then I'm going to stick around to answer all your questions live here about eBay and Amazon. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure to leave your questions in the comment section of any of my videos, including this one. And then consider subscribing because I'll answer the question during my next live Q&A next week. So let's get right into this material because there's a lot of great stuff I want to cover for you guys. I'm just going to share my screen here and go like that. So you should be able to see my screen. Let me make sure that you guys are able to hear me in there. Everyone's saying hey, so if you just let me know if you could hear me. But in the meantime, I'll continue to go through because I did want to cover this for you guys. This really started during the spring 2018 eBay selling update, sellers update, when eBay announced that they're going to roll out this product-based listings or inventory optimization or product-based shopping experience. Right off the bat, we have a problem here because they're not really defining or creating a good word for this. They've used different words every time they talk about it. So right off the bat, a little bit of confusion here. And we hear that everyone can hear me. Great. So let's keep going on this because the other issue I have with this product-based shopping experience is that right here in the selling update or the seller's update, they gave us a timeline of when all of this is going to roll out. But as of now, they haven't met any of these deadlines. They said things were going to happen in mid-March, some things in April. Everything has been delayed. They had some problems with their website that they had to fix before they could roll out these changes. And that's kind of frustrating as a seller because I do want to know what's coming down the pipeline. I do want to know what's coming next. No matter what, I'm going to adapt to them. I'm going to continue to run my store. But it would be nice to know that they are going to happen before they happen. But unfortunately, eBay is not really giving us that chance because they're just not meeting their deadlines. The other problem with this new catalog-based system that they're rolling out is that they haven't really defined what it's going to look like. They did give some pictures here that kind of have alluded to what it's going to be like. You'll see the products here are grouped together. And in this picture, it looks like some sort of buy box here. So the assumption is that it's going to look a lot like Amazon. So here on Amazon, I search for Life Factory glass bottle. And what Amazon does is it groups all the similar products together. So all the light green ones are in this listing. All the black ones or the carbon colored ones are in this listing. This one's light green as well, but you see it's a different bottle. So it's really very organized by product. And then if we click on, let's say this one, this carbon colored one, you'll see here's the item. And it's also available from other sellers here. So one person here gets what's called the buy box, which is add to cart. If you want to shop at another retailer, you would have to come here and select one of these people. So you would think that's what eBay is trying to do. So when I search for Life Factory water bottles on eBay, you'll see everything is not like that. Everything's split up. It's not grouped together. Here's a black one, a carbon colored one. There's another carbon colored one up here. So they're not grouped together. Here's another one right here. Unless you come and press this button that says Group Similar Listings. Only at that point does it begin to look similar to Amazon. The problem is people don't know to click that button. They're not doing a very good job of educating buyers about this new catalog-based system. The other strange thing here is that when you scroll down, let's see if we can find that carbon colored one again. That's black. Let's see. Well, let's pick another one. Like you'll see here, this one right here. Let's check out this orange one. I'll click here. This one's $23.25. We click here, it only shows us one buyer. Unlike Amazon that shows us all the buyers, this one's only showing us one. If we go back though, where'd it go? It actually has another one right here. So you have to click here. That again is not something that buyers are used to doing. They're used to something more like Amazon where you see everything in one listing. And eBay's not doing that here. Now, the other weird thing is that when you search for some items, you don't even get the option to group by category. So a lot of inconsistencies here. And another great example of an inconsistency that they're doing is that here, or this one, they actually do have a buy box here. So for this item, it looks a lot more like Amazon. But again, not all of them are like that. Like this one is not like that, even though it was grouped with another item as we saw on the previous screen. So inconsistencies, this one also, because it's grouped with other ones, it's telling you up here that you can also buy this item instead of for $87, you can get it for $58.61. But I know that every listing that has this buy box, not all of them have this tab system up here. And sometimes items that have a buy box, I'll come back to them and they won't have the buy box anymore. They'll look similar to this one. So I'm not really sure why that is or why that's happening. Actually, this item, I had found another item I wanted to show you guys with a buy box, but when I came back, it no longer looked like this. This was actually one that one of my students found. So I wanted to, so I managed to pull that one up real fast for you guys. Now, I think the biggest problem with this catalog-based system, besides the fact that we just don't really know what eBay is trying to do or what they want it to look like and why it's been so inconsistent. But I think the biggest problem is that it's creating a bad experience for buyers. And let me show you this example that I found on a forum online. This guy listed his item. You'll see here, it's a brown Ray-Ban sunglasses case. And he titled it a brown Ray-Ban case. eBay found this item, connected it with their catalog, and as soon as they connected it with their catalog, they used the title that was in the catalog. But as you see, the title here says it's a black case, but this one's a brown case. So that's obviously not aligned. So the buyer's going to get confused by that. Here's another example where this guy had the same thing happen to him, but his experience, what happened to him, is different because you'll see here with the first one, they actually got rid of the guy's title entirely and just used the one from the catalog. Where this one, for some reason, they used both the one from the catalog, which is up here, and the one that he gave it, which is down here. But they're different. This item, these glasses have a prescription of plus 2.5. But the catalog, it gave it a title of a prescription that's 2. Completely different glasses, but they've aligned them, and this is going to create confusion. And I also don't understand why they have both titles in this one, but only one title in this one. So this actually happened to me. What happened was, let me change here. So what happened to me was that I was selling an item. It was $25 for one of them. eBay picked up that item and aligned it with their catalog. And for some reason, when it entered the catalog, the title changed from 1 to 2-piece. So every other seller was selling it for around $50 for 2 of them. I was selling it for $25 for 1 of them. So all these sellers, about 15 or 20 people bought it from me thinking they were getting a great deal, thinking they were getting 2 of them for $25 when they only got 1 for $25. So I had a lot of buyers messaging me saying, why did I only get 1? Where's my other one? And I was really confused because I didn't know that this was happening. It took me a long time to figure it out. And once I did, I called eBay, and eBay was really confused as well, because when eBay, the representatives looked at my listing, they didn't see the catalog. They just saw my listing and my title, and then they sided with me for that reason. So I would suggest that you just continue to create great titles that are completely accurate, because if eBay accidentally aligns you to the wrong listing, they're going to take responsibility for that, and it's not going to be on you. I didn't get any negative feedbacks for any of those items. I did get a few, but they were all removed. I didn't have to refund the buyers. eBay took care of all of it because on their end, they saw that my item still had a listing that stated that it was 1 and not 2. So for these reasons, I'm not a huge fan of the catalog-based shopping experience. I just don't think that eBay is being very clear about what it's going to look like or when everything is going to roll out. And they're they made some attempt to inform sellers about it, but they've done a really terrible job at explaining it to buyers, because I don't even think buyers have any idea what's happening. It's a very inconsistent shopping experience. Eventually, things are going to settle down, and they're either going to undo what they did and go back to the way it was, or they're going to push through and get this finalized and finally get things working the way they want it to. In either case, I'm going to keep selling. Through this whole process, I'm still making money. My sales went down a little bit earlier this year, but now they're back up. And the great thing about this is that eBay is making changes. And when they make changes, a lot of people give up. They're so used to the way things are, they don't want to change, so they quit. And this is a great time to get started with it or to really make some gains here, because as those people leave the marketplace, as those people are unwilling to adapt to change, you can move in and start to really sell well on eBay. And the other benefit here is that we're going to understand eBay's new system before anyone else, because we're in it right now, committed to learning things as they change on eBay. So that's why I still feel like there's great opportunity here on eBay, even though I'm not happy with the experience of the catalog-based system so far. So like I said, I'm happy to stick around for you guys now to answer any questions you have about eBay or Amazon. And I did have a bunch of questions lined up from the week, but I want to see if you guys have any questions, anyone who's here with me live right now. Okay. And Andrew makes a great point. Even if eBay manages to fully implement this catalog-based system, Andrew says, don't be scared of the catalog. I sell on Amazon too. I'm not the lowest price. I'm not even eligible for the buy box, and I still get sales. And that's a great point. And Andrew, I've noticed myself that even the items that I'm selling on eBay that are aligned with the catalog, even if I'm not the lowest price, which is often, I'm still making sales on those items. And I think that's for a number of reasons. One, as you saw from my demonstration, this isn't really rolling out very successfully. Buyers don't know to group the listings together or understand how it works. So during that time period, they're still buying from me, even if the item is cheaper in other places. Other people go out of stock while I'm still in stock. And I just think that if you continue to provide great customer experience, people are going to come back and buy from you as well. Okay. Danny is watching me while fishing. Welcome, Danny. Okay. All right, let's see any more questions from the live chat. Julio is asking if eBay is going to do away with PayPal. So that is the plan. They're planning to integrate their own payment processor into eBay, just the way that Amazon has it. I think the timeline is not until after 2020 though, so we do have some time for that. I would hope that they would hold off until they finish implementing the catalog-based shopping experience so that they don't try to do too much here, right? Because that can get messy really quickly. And also want to remind you guys that I'm going to be continually making videos as eBay makes changes to their platform, so I can keep you guys updated on what's going on. So if you don't want to miss those videos, do make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Okay. All right, so let's look at some of the questions I had from this week. Where did they go? Here they are. First question here is from Sabir. Sabir is asking for an effective way to recruit a good virtual assistant from the Philippines and to avoid scammers? That's a great question, Sabir. So the first thing I would recommend that you do is check out a website. The one that I really like is called Online Jobs. There's a link to it in the description of my video. It's the one that says hire VAs for $2 to $3 an hour. Check out that website. It's really great. It has a great reputation. That's where I hire all my VAs from now. And you can go in there, find a virtual assistant, and hire them on a trial basis. Start them out with a really small task, one that they can't really mess up, one that they can't really scam you with, and then slowly build your trust for them. And that's what's really all about. Is you don't want to, give them the keys to your cash register right away, so to speak. You want to start them off with a small task and have things slowly build up until you gain some trust for them. The next question I have is from, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Terry Ann. And Terry Ann is asking how she can pay for the items before PayPal releases the money. So what's happening here is that you're still in what's called PayPal jail. This is a probation period. It's a 3-month probation period when PayPal won't release your funds right away because they want to make sure that you are a reputable seller first. So this happens the first 3 months that you start selling on eBay. So what happens is the buyer buys it from you and the money is being held in PayPal. Then you buy the item from your source, ship it directly to your customer. Once you upload the tracking number and the tracking number shows it was delivered, then PayPal will release your money. In the meantime, you can use a credit card to cover the cost of that item. Then once the money is released to you, just pay off your card right away so you don't get any interest on it. If you have some cash saved up, you can use that money to float yourself until you're paid out as well. But if you have a credit card, that's a great option in the meantime. Okay. So Ed is asking what to do if a mail carrier can't deliver the item. At that point, it really depends on what's going on. So if it's an issue with like a missing apartment number or something, you could assist, maybe contact the buyer and ask them if they have an apartment number. If the item is headed back though to the supplier, at that point, you should ask the buyer if they want to reorder the item or get the item shipped back out to them and try again, or if they want a refund at that point. Usually, if the item is undeliverable for some reason, the buyer is not going to be able to leave you negative feedback, or if they do, you'll be able to get it removed. But if there's some other reason that it wasn't delivered, like maybe you messed up the address, that might be another situation. Let's see. Okay, I just saw something good and then I missed it. So let's see a question I had from one of my students in my course, Tim. Tim was asking me if a promoted listing counts towards the listing limit. So when you're selling on eBay, as many of you know, you get a listing limit. It's the number of items that you can list in a given month. So let's say it's 100 items. So you can list up to 100 items in a month. If you have 50 items listed, and let's say you haven't made any sales yet, and you run a promoted listing campaign for all 50 of those items, is that now going to make it count double as 200 listings? And no, it's not. It doesn't count towards your listing limit. Only an actual listing does. The promoted listing simply kind of makes it appear twice, the same listing appear twice. So it doesn't count towards your listing limits, Tim. Let's see. Andrew is asking, how much do sales go up in Q4? Thanks for your course. I'm doing 20 to 30 sales a day and need to know what to prepare for. So Andrew, if you're already doing 20 to 30 sales a day, first of all, congratulations, that's awesome. You're going to be really surprised come Q4. because for myself, Q4 was right after I started to do well on eBay. So it really isn't clear to me how much your sales are going to increase, because my sales were going up anyway, going into Q4, and that just really started to accelerate them. But I would be really prepared to have your sales come close to even doubling during that time period. We're talking about the time periods after Black Friday and then through right before Christmas. It can get really crazy, lots of items being purchased. And you might, if you're hiring virtual assistants, you might want to consider hiring an extra one during that time period as kind of a seasonal one, and to make sure you have some great items listed in your store going into Q4. So Mike is asking a question. Mike says that he was told I should stop listing items in my eBay store. Someone told him that eBay does not like Amazon tracking numbers and will restrict my account. Do you find any truth to this, Paul? Mike, I don't have any evidence that that is true. There's always speculation that eBay doesn't favor one source over the other, or doesn't favor dropshipping over other methods, but I haven't seen any real concrete proof of it here in the US. There was some stuff that happened over in Israel a couple months ago, but I'm a big drop shipper. I use all these suppliers. I have buddies that use all these suppliers as well. And there doesn't seem to be any indication that they're favoring one source or disfavoring one source like Amazon over another one. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Hmm. Let's see. I had a question from another one of my students, Brian. Brian is saying that one of his listings was removed for a trademark violation. Is kind of asking what he should do next. So that's a great question, Brian. So this sometimes happens. If you're using a software like DSM Tool, which is the listing and repricing software that I recommend, then you're going to find that it can alert you if you're going to list a brand that doesn't let you use their images and stock description without their permission. But sometimes things slip through, new brands are added to this banned list that we don't know about. So sometimes this does happen. And usually what happens is eBay will just remove it. So Brian's asking, should he relist the item? Should he not? What should he do? My recommendation is to stay away from the product at this point. And even though there are some people who would recommend that you can still list the item and do it manually and add your own photos and add your own description, and that you'll be okay at that point, that might be true. But personally, I just don't want to risk my entire store for one listing, even if it's a really good one. I'd rather leave it alone. You know, they contacted me, they didn't ban me, they didn't shut down my account, they just removed that one listing. I'm just going to cut my losses and move on and find some other products. So that's what I would do. And I would caution you, just be careful moving forward if you try to list that same item again or another item from the same brand. Okay. So Jack is asking what passwords my VAs have. eBay, DSM Tool, what else do they have access to? So Jack, I only have one VA that actually has access to my eBay account. The others just have access to different softwares that have connected with my eBay account that allows them to work on my eBay store, answer customer questions, list items, handle customer service without actually having to log in to eBay. And so this one VA does have access to eBay to be able to do things that you can't do with the software. And she has limited access to my PayPal as well. Let's see. And Debbie is asking if I know when sales tax is going to start in other states. Obviously, Debbie is asking about the recent Supreme Court decision. I made a video about this, and I'll put that video up here if you guys are watching this on the replay. But basically, Debbie, I recommend that you try a service called TaxJar that will take care of all that for you. If you want to check out that software, you can just go to pauljlipsky.com/tax, and that will take you right to it. I also made that video if you guys want to check that one out, all about TaxJar. Let's see. So Ginger Hustle is asking if I think sniping or optimization is better. So what I teach in my course is kind of a hybrid of both, where you're going in, finding the items that are really popular, that people are really interested in, and you're creating your own unique titles for that. And I still think that works in 2018 because our titles are still showing up for customers, even in the search results. So for now, I'm going to continue to have my virtual assistants, I'm going to continue to have my virtual assistants optimize the titles of those and list them up onto eBay that way. Selmer is saying, what about the global shipping program restricting some items? Sometimes Selmer gets an email saying that the item is restricted, the buyer has been refunded, and she gets to keep her funds as well. That sometimes happens. To be honest, I haven't really ever looked too much into it because it's been such a small problem for me. In fact, it's not really a problem at all. Every once in a while, one of the items I ship to eBay's global shipping program facility can't be shipped for whatever reason. And eBay either does one of two things. In most cases, they refund or they let me keep the money and refund the buyer, which is fine with me. Or in really, really, really rare cases, they'll ship the item directly to my home. But that's only ever happened to me twice. Coincidentally, one of them was today, which is kind of weird. But it's just one item, and actually only have two items ever in the year and a half and over $1 million in sales that I've done on eBay. So I'm not sure why they do it that way sometimes and the other way other times, but this just seems to be what they do. It hasn't been enough of a problem for me to really look into it, is what I'm trying to get at. Let's see. And Debbie's saying, can't wait for Q4. I can't blame you. I had another question this week from one of my other students, Stuart. Stuart says, I just got a message from eBay that a buyer opened a case. The long and short is he put in an old address and he wants me to help him get his package. It has already been delivered. I don't know how I can help him, and I'm worried because based on what I've read from others that eBay is going to make me give him a refund. What can I do? Stuart, you don't have to worry at this point. The buyer entered a shipping address. You shipped to that address and it was marked as delivered. At this point, you're done. And eBay is going to side with you because it shows as delivered to that address. In addition, he's now just admitted through the messaging system that he entered the wrong address. So if he now turns around and tries to make up some lie, you have proof that he is lying at that point. It sounds like you want to help him, which is pretty nice of you. But even if you wanted to help him, I don't even know what you'd be able to do in this situation. It's already been delivered to the old address. You might want to just tell him, if he knows who lives there now, to contact them and see if they'll forward the package to him or hold it until he can go pick it up. But again, once it's marked as delivered, you're off the hook, Stuart. Okay. Let's see. Lots of great questions. I'm trying to find some I haven't answered before. We already have 192 people here, which is pretty awesome. And if half of you guys give me a thumbs up, that'd be so awesome. That would actually really help boost up this video so that other people would be able to check it out as well. Kathy is asking me, Paul, I'm sourcing from Amazon.com onto eBay. Can I still use eBay's global shipping program? Thanks for all the info. Made my first sale this week after only 13 days. Congratulations, Kathy. Yes, you absolutely can use Amazon to send the item to eBay's GSP over in Kentucky. That's more than fine. We do it all the time. Sherry is asking how I limit PayPal access to my VAs. I haven't made a YouTube video about it, but there is a video about it in my Super Simple VAs course. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so another question from another one of my students, Emma. Emma says, I made 80 pounds. I guess Emma's from the UK, which is about $100 profit yesterday. So just started 20 days ago. So congratulations to Emma. That's awesome. $100 profit in one day. That's her biggest day yet. So congratulations, Emma. Really excited for you. Congratulations. Another question from, I guess that wasn't a question, but thanks for sharing that, Emma. I appreciate it. One of my students, Brian, asked this question, is asking, what's the best website for cash back? Brian, I recommend that you check out, well, my favorite one is Giving Assistant, and I do have a link to that in the description of this video. But if you want another great resource, I suggest you go to a website called cashbackmonitor.com. And if you go to cashbackmonitor.com, it's going to show you a bunch of different cashback websites. And so you can search for, let's say, Walmart. And it's going to tell you which website is giving you the most cash back if you shop through them onto Walmart, on walmart.com. So that's a great one. You could check that every day, once a week, as things change, because these cashback websites change the percentage every single day. Well, not every day, but they change often. So you do want to be on top of it. And we just hit 200 people watching. So thanks everyone who's been sticking around, listening and asking great questions. 200's the most we've ever had. So this is pretty awesome, guys. Julio is saying that, Julio, you live in Florida, sold an item in Tennessee, and Walmart is charging tax for that state. What can I do? Julio, you can get tax exempt for most states. I'm not sure if Tennessee is one of the ones you don't, but I will look into getting tax exempt with Walmart. Otherwise, if you're not tax exempt, that's something you're going to want to build in to your profit margin when you list the item on eBay. And Mullitiam Studios, I never know how to say your name, so I apologize, says, what is the ratio I have for Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot items? Do I think Walmart might be oversaturated? My ratio is mostly, well, the largest percentage of my items are from Home Depot. The next biggest bunch is from Walmart, and the smallest percentage is from Amazon. I'd say probably half are Home Depot and maybe 40% are Walmart and 20% Amazon, something like that. Do I think Walmart is oversaturated? No, I just don't think people are finding the right items. So if you think about it, Walmart has millions of items on their websites. So you just got to find the right ones and get those listed up. Let's see. Jamaican Link says, hi, Paul. I started dropshipping this month and I've done over $10,000 in sales and sold over 720 items. I must say, I never expected this. Your course works. Thank you, Paul. Thanks, man. I love hearing from you guys, from all my students who are absolutely crushing it on eBay. So congratulations to you, man. Yeah, so Drubin's asking if I still recommend starting dropshipping on eBay instead of Amazon, considering all the changes happening on eBay. This is more for people like me who have not started yet, but will soon. Yeah, I absolutely recommend still that you start on eBay. And the reason for that is because Amazon, as I'm learning, as I'm starting it myself, is much, much harder. And the reason for that is because they're really strict with their customer service. eBay is much more forgiving. So with eBay, if you don't upload a tracking number, that's actually fine. The only thing that's going to happen is that the customer might message you and say, hey, where's my tracking number? Where's my order? But if they never complain about it, there's no issue. eBay doesn't penalize you for that. Amazon, on the other hand, they're not only strict about you uploading a tracking number for every order, but you actually have to upload it at the right moment. If you upload it too early or too late, it doesn't count. And everything like that impacts your metrics on Amazon. And if you mess it up, you could get banned from using Amazon. And if you don't get banned, you might get to the point where your percentage or your metrics are lower. So Amazon's going to rank you lower. They're not going to give you the buy box, all this stuff. So you really got to be really careful with Amazon for those reasons. The other big problem with Amazon is that they don't pay you out right away like eBay will or eventually will once you get out of PayPal jail. With Amazon, they wait 2 weeks to pay you out. So for the entire period that you're selling on Amazon, you're going to have to float enough money to cover your sales for a half a month. And if you start doing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in sales a month, that's a lot of capital being tied up in Amazon as they're just holding it. Now, there are some ways around that. I might be making some videos about that in the future, but you can't even use those opportunities for the first 3 months or so. So just keep those things in mind. Let's see. And Kathy is saying that one time she bought an item from Walmart. She's tax exempt on Walmart, but they charge tax anyway. Kathy just emailed them, and within an hour, they refunded the sales tax. So that's a great tip, Kathy. I didn't know you could do that. Roy is asking if Home Depot ships fast and free. Home Depot, on any item, any order that's over $45, they're going to ship for free, and they're really quick about it. That's one of the reasons I love them. Wow, Jay Goldie is making it rain over here. Sent a $5 super chat to me. Thank you, Jay Goldie. Jay's saying, thanks for all the helpful and relevant information within the course and the live videos. Thanks so much, Jay Goldie. I really appreciate that. Okay. Marcos is saying, hi Paul, if you are tax exempt in your state, who collects the tax in the other states? Thanks. Marcos, I suggest that you check out maybe taxjar.com, or if you're a member of my course, check out module 15. I cover tax stuff in there as well. I'm not entirely clear what your question is, but I would really recommend that you look into this a lot before you start collecting sales tax or trying to get tax exempt, to really make sure you're following all the laws correctly. Okay. Let's see. Have you seen that even the big stores are listing the same item on eBay, even AliExpress? Sometimes, Dina, other stores will list items on eBay. I see Overstock on there, and I do see Best Buy on there a lot. But not everyone. I don't see Walmart on there. I don't see Home Depot on there. So the only one that really matters is Overstock, because they're a pretty good one to drop ship from. But the problem, what Overstock does poorly, is that they don't optimize their titles very well. And I just feel like they don't put much effort into their eBay listings. And that's why even when I was selling things from Overstock, which I don't really do anymore, I was still beating them out because I had better titles and was, just having a better experience for the buyers than they were. Okay. Okay, so Min is here. Min says, "Sup, Paul, for Walmart, do you process orders using credit cards or gift cards? If you use a credit card, do you run into cancellations?" Great question. So sometimes when you're ordering items from Walmart, Walmart will cancel your orders. And there's a number of reasons for this. A lot of people speculate as to why. That's because you're a reseller. But what I found when I call them and contact them is that's really an issue between them and my bank, trying to make sure that these aren't fraudulent transactions. So at first, what I was doing was I was just placing these orders with gift cards or PayPal. And I found that that always worked. Slowly, though, I started to maybe place 1 or 2 orders a day with my credit cards. And when I found that I only placed 1 or 2 a day with credit cards, they would go through. Then slowly started to use my credit card more and more. And for whatever reason, I found that that worked. At that point, they stopped canceling my orders for my credit cards. Right. So Paul's asking a great question about Home Depot. Home Depot gives you free shipping on any order that's over $45. And you can actually ship those items to different locations as long as everything in the cart is more than $45. However, you can't have 2 of the same item in one cart and ship them to different addresses. It's just not the way that Home Depot's website is set up. I don't know if I said Walmart before. I'm talking about Home Depot right now. So that's what I'm talking about. So you can't ship the same item to 2 different people in the same order. So just keep that in mind. There's just no way around it, unfortunately. Sea Monkeys 321's also making it rain in here with a $5 super chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Actually, this message is for everyone. Paul gives us all this valuable information and time free of charge every week. Let's thank him, paying it forward, buddy. So thank you, everyone. I think he means it's from everyone. So thank you, everyone. And thanks, Sea Monkeys, for the super chat. Andy is asking for what program I use to auto reply to orders, or is that covered in my course? It is covered in my course, but I'll let you know that I do like TrackerBot, which is what I use for my tracking numbers. And there's an affiliate link in the description of this video, or you can just go to pauljlipsky.com/TrackerBot. And with that, you can actually set up an auto messaging system as well. That works pretty well. Works really well, actually. Okay. See, I think I had one more question. No, I answered that one. Terry Ann was asking me this week if I've ever considered using a payment processor on eBay other than PayPal, and what my thoughts are about that. So no, I've never done that. And I don't recommend that you do, because buyers on eBay are used to using PayPal. And if you offer something else, they're just not going to use it. They only want to use PayPal. So that's what I suggest that you offer. And I wouldn't even bother offering anything else. Because if they want to pay with a credit card, they can always do it through PayPal. Hey, Frank. So Frank is asking me what my favorite listing software is at the moment. I still really like DSM Tool. I made a lot of videos about it, and that's the one I still recommend and love. But Frank's saying that he wants to use a sniping software. So what I would suggest is maybe use DSM Tool if you like it, and try a software that's designed specifically for sniping. You don't have to have them in the same program. So for instance, check out Zeek Analytics. will actually help you snipe items, and you could still use DSM tool. Danny is saying, I would love to send you a super chat, but I'm saving it for your course. That's fine, man. That's totally cool. GoBear 2002 says, which do you think is profitable, eBay dropshipping or Amazon dropshipping? They're both profitable. I think they both work. Like I said before, I think they work at different stages. So I think in the beginning, as a new seller, you should really consider starting on eBay. It's much easier for beginning if you're a beginner. As you scale up, as you get more experience, that's a good time to break onto Amazon. I'm just breaking onto Amazon myself, kind of getting off to a slow start because I've been pretty busy. But even with the knowledge that I know, I'm still finding it a little difficult to get started on Amazon. Granted, I haven't had much time to put into it. So that is something I want to put more time and energy into moving forward. Okay, let's see. Patrick is saying, have you ever considered turning this into your full-time job and scaling it even larger than you already have? Patrick, do you mean selling on eBay? Or you mean selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, making YouTube videos of my course? So yeah, I've definitely considered all my possibilities, and I'm thinking about what I want to do moving forward. I feel really blessed and fortunate that I have a lot of choices, a lot of different opportunities, that these choices don't have to be made for me, or I'm not forced into a position. That's something I never had before eBay. Before eBay, I had a path. I really had no choice but to follow that path. And now since I started dropshipping on eBay, I have so many different choices. It's almost overwhelming. It's almost like I have too many choices, and I don't know what to make because I have so many different opportunities I could pursue. So I guess it's a good problem to have. And I am thinking about everything every day, trust me. And I'll, of course, let you guys know as I decide to make any big changes in my business or my life. Christina's asking how I pay my VAs. I do use PayPal. So first class lady says, is it a good time to hire a VA when you have less than 100 listings and very slow sales? That's really up to you. I would hate to have you hire one and still not make any money. I would say if you don't have a system down, if you don't know how to run a profitable eBay store on your own, then training a VA to do the exact same thing you're doing probably won't work. I would suggest you get a system that works first. But with that said, there are some VAs out there who are really good, who have a lot of experience, who might be able to help you and might even be able to teach you a little bit how to find the right items to list, or to set up, or not set up, but run your store, maybe, or good customer service. I'd be a little wary about that because you are the boss. You are the one running the show. So you want to make sure that you understand it before you try to hire another VA or hire a VA to do it. Let's see. So I'm getting a lot of questions here, so I try my best to answer all of them. So please don't be offended if I miss your question. So Paul called me out. Paul DeLeo called me out for not responding to his question. So I did scroll up and I found your question. I didn't notice it before, so I apologize. Paul, it turns out, is a CPA. So he says, I commend you for cautioning viewers against proceeding with getting sales tax exemptions. Anyone who does can't just ghost and think there's no consequences of failing to file quarterly. Blah. That's like a tongue twister. Yeah, so Paul's kind of reiterating what I was saying before, is just that you got to be careful with things like sales tax, because these are laws. You can't break the law. You got to follow everything exactly. Let's see. Now I got to scroll back down. Okay. Cheryl's asking, what's an average to pay a virtual assistant? That depends on a lot of factors. So it depends what you're hiring them for, where you're hiring them for, where you're hiring them from, I should say. So the website I recommend to hire them for, sorry, let me slow down. I'm talking way too fast. I get really excited, want to answer everyone's questions, so I talk really fast. I gotta slow down a little bit. Okay, so Cheryl, a good place to find virtual assistants for as little as $2 an hour is that website I told you about before called Online Jobs. Just check out pauljlipsky.com/jobs. Now I forget what it is, but just scroll down in my, pauljlipsky.com/jobs. That will bring you to Online Jobs so you can check it out. You can hire them for as little as $2 an hour. That's someone who's going to do listings, someone who might do basic customer service. But really, if you're hiring someone for customer service, you're going to want to pay them more because you're going to want someone who speaks English and speaks English very well. And so that's going to cost you a little bit extra. But $2 an hour for listing or for fulfilling orders is what I pay my virtual assistants. And Paul Acosta dropped me a super chat for $4.99. Appreciate that. Oddly enough, YouTube on iPhone only gives you $4.99 option, but wanted to second Sea Monkey's cheer. I'm a penny short. LOL. Thanks for all the great help and info. Thanks, Paul. I really appreciate that. And then Paul DeLeo's giving me the thumbs up of approval. So thank you, Mr. DeLeo. All right. So Danny is asking me if I offer one-on-one mentoring and how much I would charge. So I only offer that to students who are already in my course. If you're seeking mentoring or coaching pertaining to eBay dropshipping, then I only offer that to students in my course. And the reason for that is because I really believe that 100% actually of everything you need to know about eBay dropshipping is in that course. So I would start there. I've had people contact me asking for coaching, offering me money to coach them. And I tell them, just buy the course and check it out. Like, I'm really grateful that you want to pay me to coach you. And I know I'm shooting myself in the foot here by turning down your money. That's a lot more than you would pay if you check out the course. But the course is everything in it. And those students try the course. It's everything they need, and then they never email me back to let me know that they want coaching because I know they don't need it at that point. So that's what I would recommend. But if after that point you do, then you can contact me. Or if you want coaching about something else, then you can contact me as well. And you can contact me on my website, or just my email address is my name, Paul, at pauljlipsky.com. Okay. So luxury card store is asking if my VAs use Zeek or do you use it yourself? In other words, who does the product research? My VAs do the product research. Zeek Analytics is a software to help do product research. It's a great one at that. And Paul DeLeo, the CPA, is dropping more knowledge here. Basically saying, if you're going to mess with sales tax, make sure to speak to a CPA so that you don't mess it up. All right. So Black Oz says, how can I find more profitable items without looking manually? Well, if you use a software like Zeek Analytics, that's a great one to help you find those profitable items and kind of helps you automate the process. There's plenty of other ones besides Zeek. It's not the only one. I know it's a really good one, but there's also another one that I'm just blanking on the name of. And some of them, some softwares have it built in, but Zeek is just very easy to use, fairly inexpensive as well. Let's see, we have about 5 minutes left here. So if anyone has any last questions, last minute questions, I should say. Okay, so Marcel is asking a great question. I'm glad you asked this, Marcel. Marcel just started eBay dropshipping today and already had your account suspended. What's going on here? So this happens sometimes as a new seller. I forget the reasoning that eBay uses, but just call them up and they'll lift that ban usually right away. It's sometimes happens when you set up a new account. I think the time it happened to me was once I set up 2 new accounts in one day. That was a really bad idea. I wouldn't do anything like that because that raised a red flag on eBay's account or eBay's side, and they shut down one of them right away. So it's just something with, they're just trying to protect against fraud. Give them a call. They might ask for some proof that you're a real person, and you should be able to get that ban lifted, and you should be back on your feet and ready to go. Yeah, Sales Freak also has something like Zeek Analytics, but as far as I know, Sales Freak still only works with Amazon. Bobby Gordon is saying that he's tax exempt on Amazon.com, but he bought something on Amazon and got charged sales tax. What's going on there? It depends on the seller's, where the item is being shipped to. So it's a comparison, yeah, so it's where the item is being shipped to. That's what matters. So if the item is being shipped to a state that you're not tax exempt for, then you're going to be charged sales tax. Okay. Okay, Kevin is asking about the forms to fill out for Walmart dropshipping to become tax exempt. Kevin, if you are a member of my course, that is covered in module 15 of the course. All right, so about 2 minutes left here. And I do appreciate everyone coming out. We had 200 at one point, which is pretty awesome. So once you find the item on Zeek Analytics, you then have to go onto DSM tool and list it yourself. We should have Paul DeLeo make a whole course about tax questions. And basically the whole course will say, I can't answer your tax questions. Go speak to a CPA of your own. That's really what you got to do. You got to make sure you do it right. No, WavyMo, if you buy my course, you don't get one-on-one mentorship, but you do get access to my free private mastermind group. And in that mastermind group, you can ask any questions you want. People will answer them right away. My top students are in there, new sellers are in there, and I'm active in there as well. So usually when I log in to answer questions, the questions are already answered because people are so active in there, always have it up and answering people's questions. And Frank is asking if I do these every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Yeah, absolutely. Live Q&A every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on my YouTube channel. I try to have like some little, if I can, have some little demonstration in the beginning or answer a longer question in the beginning. And then I go into all the little questions you guys have and try to smash out as many as I can. And speaking of smashing, if you guys got some value out of this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Give me a thumbs up if you appreciate this, if I answer your question. And if you guys want to make sure that you get your questions answered for next week, drop your questions into the comment section of any of my videos and I'll answer them during my next live Q&A. Of course, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss it. I had so much fun with you guys tonight. It was great hanging out with you. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a great night.